Hello and welcome to episode 128, The Danger of Assumptions. An assumption. What is an assumption? Well, according to the dictionary, an assumption is something that is accepted as true or as of certain to happen without proof. And that's why assumptions are dangerous. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Let me give you that definition again. Something that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. No evidence, just based on a belief and interpretation and extrapolation. That's dangerous, particularly in dealing with people. So, Ronald Reagan said when he wanted to negotiate with Gorbachev on reducing nuclear weapons, he said, trust and verify. So trust the person and verify, which means you need to ask questions. You need to gather evidence before you make a decision. A decision based upon an assumption is like building a house on sand. It can quickly fall. You need that bedrock of facts and evidence. Plus, if you assume something about another person, that's truly an insult to that person. You can't possibly know anyone without getting to talk to them, to see how they behave, and to understand who they are. If you just assume based upon the tone of their voice or based upon your feelings alone, that can be a decision based upon no evidence. And that's not fair. So you're not a mind reader. You can't jump into somebody's mind and understand. You need to talk to that person. You need to understand their perspectives. And that's what we need today in dealing with one another. Ask, discover the person's reasoning. My suggestion is avoid the word why, because sometimes why can get a defensive reaction. Why did you do that? Defense. Instead of why, ask, what causes you to say that? Or what prompts you to say that? Or what is your logic behind that? Or what is your reasoning behind that? This will get you into their ideas and how they're approaching the situation and perhaps why they've made the decision, the reasons they've made the decision. That causes you to ask. So this gives you an opportunity to get to know the person better. And you want to know somebody better so you can have a better relationship, so you can learn to work with them. That's a key element to being a good leader too, knowing your people, knowing what they're good at, knowing what they dislike or are poor at. You want each one of your staff members to be successful and to progress and evolve. Because if your staff is successful, you are successful as a leader. So, see the world through the other people's eyes. Don't just assume because you have a particular situation that person X responded in this way. Don't assume person Y is going to respond in the same way. Find out. Work with the person. Communicate to the person. And discover what is their reasoning, what is their logic, how do they perceive this particular situation, what is their approach, what is their perspective on solutions. That's what we're looking for. So assumptions are dangerous. Assumptions can be the beginning, not just the foundations, but the beginning of how to gather information so that together you can make better decisions and work together to solve the challenges. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.